What's up, guys? Sitting here in my car on my way to school, and I'm thinking about friends. Thinking about my friends, thinking about past friends, and I'm ultimately thinking about what I can do to be a better friend. I feel like there's a lot for me to improve. I feel like maybe sometimes I'm not as compassionate, or I feel like I'm not willing to help as much as maybe my friends would want to help me. Like maybe there's a situation where they need to come and pick me up from somewhere and something like that, and I feel like I wouldn't do the same for them, which makes me feel like really bad, that like I wouldn't go to certain extents for my friends, and it just kind of makes me feel selfish in a way. Even in general, when it comes to just checking up on my friends and getting on the phone with them or just talking with them if we can't see each other, I feel like I should do that more often. Like there's a lot of people who I'm close with who I just kind of let them slip away, kind of, since I'm not checking up on them. I'm not like just giving them a call, letting them know what's up, asking about how they've been doing. And it just kind of makes me feel, weirdly enough, it makes me feel more alone. And like, you might say like, oh, well, what about them? Why didn't they check on you? How about them checking on you? Which I guess is kind of fair. But if you care about that person, like you should at least, give them a call, give them a text, check on them, something like that. When it comes to having friends, you always want to make sure who you are friends with, the type of people you are hanging around, who you let get close to you, like as in your like close circle. Are these good people? Are these people of quality? Are these people that will take you and themselves to new heights? Will they motivate you? Will they inspire you to learn and to improve yourself? Things like that. My father would always tell me, make sure we pick our friends, we choose our friends, make sure we have good friends. He would always ask us like, oh, you have a friend, what's their name? Oh, what do they like? What do they do? Or, what do they like to do? And, it's just kind of like, it's funny because he's like, trying to always evaluate our friends and things like that, just to make sure we're hanging around the right people. And when your parents do that, they don't mean any harm. They just want you to make sure you don't grow up a bum. Because some people's kids are just bums, and then they grow up and they end up bums. And then you're going to end up like a bum because all you're doing is hanging around bums. But, there's nothing wrong with having, like, people you're close... Well, I wouldn't even say that. I would say having someone that well that kind of isn't really aspiring to do much. Some people will say, like, oh, you shouldn't have friends just because they're going to make you be better. You should have friends because you want to be friends with that person, you want to hang out with them, which I don't think is the case, right? If you're gonna be friends with someone who always like goes to parties, always drinks, always smokes, doesn't seem to be motivated to do anything greater than those things, they're kind of just like alive just to be alive instead of alive to push themselves forward, then some of that is gonna rub off on you, right? Some of that's gonna rub off on you, and you're going to kind of pick up the same habits, especially, again, if this is a person that you're hanging out with constantly, like on a daily basis or a weekly basis, or someone you're close to. I feel like when you have close friends and you have a close circle, everybody should be lifting everybody up, right? You should hold your friends accountable, and your friends should hold you accountable, right? Let's say you're getting out of shape, you're starting to get fat, or maybe you're losing weight, you're not keeping up with yourself. Your friend should be able to point that out and be like, hey man, don't do that, right? Hey man, what's going on? Are you okay? What's happening? Hey man, get back to it. And then you should do the same to your friends, right? Or, vice versa. So, because I feel like that's not a real friend if they just say, hey man, fuck it, it's your life. Right? Because it seems as if they're just not worried about you. It seems they have no regard for you. And if that's your friend, then they should be concerned for your well-being and for your health and for the things that you do, to yourself. And they should be willing to help. They should be wanting to help. They should be saying like, okay, well, you might want to do this, but I really feel like the better option here would be to do something else, something that might hold more benefit or hold more value. Don't be friends with people who aren't willing to hold you accountable. Right? Don't be friends with people who who won't give you a lecture. And I get it, that seems like, you're not my mom, you're not my dad. But at the same time, a lot of people don't want to listen to their parents just because, like, they're going to be in that rebellious stage or that rebellious era. But they're going to listen to their friends, and their friends might just say the exact same things, just in a different way that their parents will say. And they're going to listen to that, right? How many times on the internet will someone say something like, oh, go outside and eat your vegetables? And then everybody was like, oh my gosh, I should have went outside and ate my vegetables, right? Whilst their parents were telling them that their entire childhood, and they weren't listening at all. I also want to do better at holding my own friends accountable. There have been times in the past where I may not point out something that I think was bullshit, at least immediately. And I might not point it out verbally. I might be like, well, I don't know, man. Like, well, instead of like, hey, man, cut the shit. Hey, man, don't do that. Right? That's something that I want to work on as well. And then also just holding myself more accountable. Just making sure I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you don't really want your friends to kind of like pull you out like that. You want to kind of stay on your toes, and you kind of want to be sure that you are doing everything you can to be a good person. And if your friends notice you're slipping, it's kind of going to just feel embarrassing when they point that out, right? Again, it's going to feel like you're being lectured by your mom or your dad about, you missing your school assignment or something like that. Now, how do you make friends? Because I bet some people are going to wonder how to make friends. They're going to ask, how do you make friends? How do you friend? And the best advice I can get is just putting yourself out there, putting yourself in a situation where you're going to interact with others. The most organic ways I find is when I'm at school, when I'm at work, and when I'm at a place or some type of event where there's people that have similar interest, like some type of convention, like a Comic-Con or like an anime convention or whatever. And you're gonna be there with people that have similar interests, that are into similar niches. Even like a gym, right? Everybody's kind of there for the same reason. And that, of course, you don't want to be like blabbing your mouth trying to talk to everybody, because everybody's trying to focus. But like, saying what's up here and there, things like that. Those would be very great ways just to kind of like pick up conversations with people, get familiar with people, and over time, like ultimately become a friend, right? Like at work, I always have fun when my friend at work is there, because we talk about a lot of things, we relate with a lot of things. And currently at school, I don't think I would say that I necessarily have a friend. I have people that I'm cool with and that I talk to often, but it's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, man, I can't wait to get to school so I can hang out with so and so. But it takes time. That stuff takes time, right? I feel like I'm really only just developing my social skills, and I know it's gonna, of course, take time. It took a good amount of time for me at work to even like really have like a friend like that, and I know it's gonna take time. Probably not as much time at school, since at school everybody is the same age as me. We're all going to an art school, so we're all going to be in school for relatively the same couple of reasons, and we're all going to have similar interests, might be into similar niches, things like that. So I don't find that's going to be very hard to find like a really close friend here at the school. And then of course I have my close friends that I've known since high school, And you know, we still hang out. We haven't been able to hang out recently for a good minute because we've just been so damn busy. Everybody's been running around. Everybody's been busy. But that's just how it is when you're an adult. When you're an adult and you just graduated high school, I remember, you know, be able to hang out with my friends all the time for like a full day. Probably could spend the night if they wanted to. But now it's just like, that seems like a fairy tale. That seems like a dream or something like that. But yeah, just put yourself in a situation where you can. Don't be that person that hears two people having a conversation about something you really like, but you're too antisocial to get up and like join them. Don't be someone who's just watching other people's lives, right? We do that all the time. We watch other people's lives on Instagram, YouTube, TV, you know, TikTok, whatever. Be that person that interacts. Be that person that can become a part of their life. Well, in a good way. Don't stalk them and have them put a restraining order on you, and then now they're a part of your life like forever. But more of like, you go up to these people and you talk to them and you ask them about, hey, I like that shirt that you have on, that shirt with those characters. I like that show. And hey, I like that show too. Boom. Boom. That could be a pathway to a new friendship. But I'm kind of running out of things to say, so I'm pretty sure this is just going to be about it for this one. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you guys have a great days today. You know, stay safe out there, stay focused, and have a good one.